Tonight we have the very latest from the Peace Council-led mediation meeting to disband party militias.
Both MP and DC think that the police people should prosecute people who offend the law, irrespective of the party they belong to. It's something that has been laid there clearly by both.
Also in this edition, Upper East Regional Minister defends works done so far under the One Village, One Dam project in spite of claims by residents that a substandard work has been done, insisting it's a dugout and not a dam.
When we talk about dams, we're not talking of dams like Bui dams or Akosombo dams. When you go to the village and somebody tells you, I'm going to the dam, the person just means I'm going to a dugout today.
You agree that they are dugouts, that they are not dams?
I didn't say that.
We'll hear from residents and an agric professional who's been rating work done so far.
I'll give the project 20 out of 100. But if you are in a hurry because of a campaign pledge to show this in 2 years, next year they are going to be running around digging holes everywhere. And it's not possible to do this type of thing in 2 years. So they are rushing.
And in business, Bank of Ghana rejects Economist Intelligence Unit's projection of the city coming under another round of depreciation in the coming months.
In sports, he's not going to AFCON 2019. Ghana's Albert Adoma has helped the English lower league side Aston Villa secure Premier League promotion.
And also poor roads in the eyes of a 15-year-old. We hear from Mavis Maftanaldo, who is campaigning for bad roads at Ashoman to be fixed.
The road that stretches from Last Stop to Pure Water, ending at Old Ashoman, the road is really bad. It has a lot of potholes and there are lots of puddles on the road.
Later on flip side, we'll hear from comedians Rubin and Langabell on the difference between general captain and permanent captain of a football team.
General captain is the captain, which is everybody know that you are captain for the long time, and parliament captain. Parliament. Permanent. You are supposed to control the phone. That's the parliament captain.
And this is the Parliament edition of Newsnight. My name is Evans Mensah. I am
MFR Power, and Newsnight is brought to you by Puma Cat from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience.
Want to join us with your views and comments? Send us a WhatsApp 0244 340437.
And in our very first story for tonight, the police administration has expressed an optimism about the potency of the anti-vigilantism and other related offences bill to help law enforcers deal with the menace. According to the service, existing laws rather undermines the authority of the police and other law enforcement agencies' ability to deal with the phenomenon. Deputy Inspector General of Police James Opombwedu has been briefing the National Peace Council-led meeting with political parties and other interest groups to disband party militias. He's actually warning that if he warns of chaos if the justice system is allowed to be violated by criminals parading at party militias. We'll get on the line shortly and speak to my colleague Parker Wilson, who's been at the program today. But the National Peace Council mediation, the third so far, aims to commit the political parties to agree on disbanding the party militias. According to the police, their records show 24 of such groups existing among political parties, especially the NPP and NDC. Mr. James Opombwedu is worried the inability of the state to prosecute such people could threaten the security of the state.
What is worrying is that this vigilantism recently has assumed violent dimensions. That is not to say that in the pre-independence and post-colonial vigilante situation there were no violence. There was. But I think what we are seeing recently, if we are not able to address it, what we see will be more difficult than what we had before the pre- and post-colonial, start of independence. Well, it goes without saying that if we have people who are taking the law into their hands and we are not punishing them, that is a major threat to national security. And it does that subtly by initially eroding the confidence that people have in the criminal justice system. People say that, oh, the police, all of them are corrupt. None of them can be trusted with doing anything. None of them can be trusted to handle anything once the government is involved. And when that psyche becomes heightened and it becomes predominant, then people think that, okay, then let us take the law into our hands. This is what I said in one of this, and that became the whole.
Now, Chairman of the Mediation Committee, Nana Professor SKB Asante, says the council is opening to all interest parties to ensure that outcome of the meeting will be accepted by all.
The National Peace Council is therefore of the opinion that with the expansion of the stakeholder groups involved in this exercise, we are involved in a national dialogue. This dialogue is not to prepare the ground for another dialogue. This is the dialogue. I must emphasize that in view of the foregoing, we have no choice but to focus our attention on our priorities and achieve concrete results. It is imperative that we derive from this dialogue workable solutions to the incidence of political vigilantism in Ghana. It must be stressed that this dialogue represents a unique compromise between the NDC and NPP. The stakeholder participation has been duly expanded, yet the dialogue has a distinctive focus on political parties as they are relatively the main actors in the phenomenon of vigilantism in Ghana. If this dialogue would result in a collectively designed code of conduct, providing guidance on ethical conduct with a corresponding framework to monitor and evaluate compliance, we would have achieved a major outcome.
I want to take you live now to the grounds for this meeting. My colleague Parker Wilson has been following this all day. Joins us on the telephone line right now. Parker, has the meeting ended? Do we have any communique out yet?
Not yet, but the meeting has ended, Evans. And the reason why we don't have a communique is because today's meeting is a 2 day. 2 days, of course, the Peace Council chair says that tomorrow, when they conclude the meeting, that's when they're going to issue a communique on the steps they are taking to disband vigilante groups. But of course, the meeting, according to the party, was quite frank and sincere because both parties had the opportunity to express their concerns and, of course, their suspicions for one another. And according to them, the Peace Council mediated the process very well in a matured manner. In fact, that is what they say, in a matured manner. And so for them, they are very satisfied with today's meeting and quite hopeful that tomorrow they'll be able to fashion out the roadmap to disband their vigilante group.
And I get a sense today that this was a more open forum in terms of there were others in the room other than the political parties and Peace Council themselves. More civil society groups sat in the conversation.
That is right, Evans. Now, Evans, you recall that the NDC had made this point months gone by, that this process, they needed the participation of other civil society groups. So today we had the presence of ONEP, a CDD, Dr. Kosinin, representing the Kofi Annan Peacekeeping and Training Center, the Christian Council, the Catholic Bishop Conference, representation from the Office of the Chief Imam, and even the Deputy IGP was also present in this meeting. So there were other stakeholders in this meeting, including the CDD. Now, I spoke to the rep from CDD who talked about their research into these groups, the vigilante groups. Now, according to them, there are three key issues for which many of the young ones would want to join these vigilante groups, and that is key. One is the mistrust for the Electoral Commission and also the state institution. We can listen to him.
Our funding is strict. Our funding is that it's not formed by the political parties themselves, but individuals within the political parties. So if we'll be able to deal with it, the parties must talk to the individuals in their parties who have been funding the activities of the vigilante groups. Our finding also points to the fact that one party or NDC, NPP alone cannot fight against vigilantism. They need the social support of the security of stakeholders. mostly mentioned are the Electoral Commission and the police service.
No, but these individuals are being recruited by the party, the political parties.
I did mention that political parties, political parties do by themselves don't recruit vigilante groups, as far as our research is concerned. But as I'm saying, the finding also point to the fact that the major motivation for the recruitment is mistrust. And the mistrusts are purported around three institutions. The political parties themselves, the mutual mistrust are from the MPP, the NDC. So when they are going to contest, they don't know what lies in store for them. What are the MPP prepared for them? What are the NDC prepared for them? And therefore, we should all prepare ourselves and go and face whatever it is there. Another mistrust is about the Electoral Commission. They think people don't support or the trust the Electoral Commission, and therefore they put all measures in place to make sure that they secure their interests at the registration centers and the polling centers. The third mistrust was against the police service. I don't think they will have fair security. They will be provided with adequate and sufficient security, and therefore they provide their own security.
So how we Parker on the line? Parker, so that's the CDD's rep in there. You also spoke to the chairman of the MPP, Freddie Blay. What is his concerns? I'm told he has some.
Yes, the concern that the NDC is still insisting that perpetrators of the Iowa West wagon violence should be prosecuted. And you know, Evans, that the NDC has made this point. Now, Freddie Blay says it is not a precondition to this particular peace dialogue.
It's been very useful. It's been frank, genuine, and there have been exchanges that, so from my perspective, it's been quite useful.
I understand it was very heated. I mean, the argument was quite heated.
No.
I mean, you were sharing your frustrations. The NDC was also sharing their concerns and their frustrations.
We were frankly exchanging ideas and our perspective from various angles. And I won't call it heated. They were laced with some, humorous utterances and so forth and so. I think the MPC too did its work. It's facilitated it very beautifully, and everything else went to less.
I do understand that the NDC is insisting that government should prosecute perpetrators of the Iowa West wagon violence, and again dismiss members of the vigilante groups who have been recruited into national security.
I don't get that idea. They mentioned that.
Why?
They talked about that and so forth, but I don't believe, if you want to talk about prosecution of individuals who have been mentioned in various incidents and so forth, to go back too many years and days that have gone past.
You think that's not a way to go?
And I don't believe that's been a way to go. And I don't believe they are insisting on what we all agree.
But they've always made the point, I mean, even in Parliament, the stakeholders forum on the vigilantism bill.
It's not this forum that will decide as to who to prosecute and so forth. That one is...
no, they believe that as the first step towards disbanding party militia.
No, the Attorney General and government will make decisions as to who to prosecute. I am not in a position to say so. We talk about it, so they have raised issues on that. It's not here that we, the party, the two of us, will decide that go and prosecute this before we talk about disbanding. There are no conditions, preconditions. We are exchanging and we all agree. We should go ahead and do that. Maybe it may help if we talk about those who the police are convinced and it comes up clearly that need to be prosecuted. Why not? But that's not determined by arrest, nor by the NDC.
But perhaps will the party prosecute those who are found culpable in those acts?
The party prosecute? What do you mean?
Now I'm talking about government. Your party is in power.
I'm not speaking for me. I don't talk about my party. We're speaking as parties. That's why the two of us have been invited.
No, but there are those who are calling for the prosecution of those who perpetrated the Iowa West wagon violence.
Wait. Here we are having a dialogue between us, the two main parties on equal terms. And it's not that we represent the government and therefore asking us that government should prosecute this or not. That's not the way to go about it. What constitutes vigilantism, how to contain it, what to do, how do you feel about it. If any opinion is expressed, you all come out with a communication.
So that's the national chairman of the NPP there speaking to Parker. Parker is with him on the line. Parker, there's a reaction to this and other discussions today from the NDC. You've been speaking to one of their members sitting in this conversation.
Yes, that is the lawyer, Abraham Amaliba, and for him, he said that the party's position is clear. They want them to be prosecuted. But then again, Evans, he talks about what he calls the hypocrisy on the part of the NPP and the government because, this morning, their chairman was dragged to court according to Amaliba. And for him, this is the chairman who is leading this peace process. So what the NPP is doing clearly is stampeding this peace process. And for him, he wants Ghanaians to read in between the lines.
For me, it was a frank and robust discussion surrounding the whole issue of vigilantism. We have the following data tomorrow to wrap it all up.
Now, talking about tomorrow, today the NDC were quite late. You delayed the whole process for like 4 hours. Would the party considering boycotting the whole process?
That is not the case. This date or today coincided with the day that the court asked us to return to court.
But I'm sure you knew that Peace Council had given you this day too for the parties to meet and dialogue.
Well, we couldn't have told the court that we can't come to court. We want to come to the Peace Council. However, what we did was that we nonetheless, after the court proceedings, rushed in here through the traffic situation. We were able to get to this place. This shows the commitment that we have towards this dialogue. In fact, it is our chairman who is being prosecuted, and yet our chairman found the need to tell us not to boycott today's sitting. The chairman led us from court to the proceedings here. And so it is ironic that whilst we are speaking peace, we have the sitting government prosecuting our chairman when he is the same person leading the process in this discussion. So you want to wonder whether the government is committed to this process, because you just asked the question. We held this process back for almost 4 hours.
Yeah, right.
The reason being that the government is prosecuting us in court and yet expect us to appear here.
So you heard lawyer Abraham Amaliba. He's a member of the legal team of the NDC and represented the NDC also at this meeting at PGS. We are privileged to be joined on the phone by the chairman of the National Peace Council, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So what will be your take on proceedings so far on day one of this meeting today?
What will be what?
Are you happy with progress made so far at the end of today's meeting? I'm told it's a 2-day meeting. So the first session at the end of it all, are you happy with progress made?
Yes, I am happy. Everything has gone on smoothly. We will continue tomorrow. There's cordiality, there's frankness in terms of discussion and everything. And we believe that tomorrow we will continue.
We know.
And then we'll be able to issue a communique and also present some recommendations.
We just finished talking to the chairman of the NPP. We've spoken to the NDC as well. Coming into today, there were many ton issues that you were dealing with. Like key of them, amongst them, is whether to continue with the law or we should deal with the dialogue first. I wonder how the parties are beginning to settle some of these differences now that the conversation is ongoing in the midst of all the legal issues that the parliament is also dealing with.
Let me tell you that for us, that's not a problem. We are talking about how to go about addressing this vigilante menace. And part of it will be looking at the bill that is before Parliament. We've already submitted a document to them to study overnight. Tomorrow we'll be discussing that in addition to whatever we are discussing. Because, we believe that is all part of the way forward. So I don't know what you're talking about, that, we've been discussing whether we should add that to this or that. For us, we made it clear that we're going to be looking at the problem connected with vigilantism, and part of it will be discussing the bill on vigilantism and its related offenses. As I said, we are distributed documents to them to study overnight. Tomorrow, we will continue from there.
And today we noticed that there's more civil society presence in the conversation. The CDD was there. That has been, and originally when we started this process, that was one of the issues that the party disagreed on. How did we come to this positive moment where now it's more open than where we started weeks ago?
Well, at our second meeting, the communique clearly indicated that we were going to expand it. It was the compromise that they reached, that we should invite some CSOs and other bodies to be part of the discussion. And that's precisely what we have done today, in keeping with what was agreed on our second meeting.
We also heard the chairman of the mediation committee, Nana SKB Asante, say that the council is opening up to all interested parties. I would want to find out how wide you're opening these doors.
Well, at the moment, we have invited CSOs. We have invited some selected CSOs, I must say. We have also invited the security agency, the IGP. That's the deputy IGP today gave a presentation. The CDD also gave a presentation. We had representation from IDEC. Dr. Akwete also made contribution. We had people from the NCC, the chairperson of NCC was there. She also made a contribution. Tomorrow, religious bodies will make presentation. We're looking at the Catholic Bishops' Conference. We're looking at Christian Council. We're also looking at the Islamic, the Chief Imam's office. There will be a presentation there. And then from there, we will also we'll break into groups and do discussions on issues that will arise. Hopefully, we'll be able to come up with recommendations for the government and also for Parliament.
But how about the other political parties? Are we looking at bringing them on board as well?
We will finish with this dialogue tomorrow because, as you know, the president expressly said that the two political parties, the major ones who have been in government, should see to it. And that's precisely what we're doing. But even after tomorrow, it doesn't mean we're not going to be engaging other political parties and other groups, because this is an ongoing thing, and it is not something that after you have done it, you say that you finish. Of course, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, and we are dealing with a issue that is before us now concerning the two major stakeholders, the NPP and the NDC. We would not say that after we finish with them, that is the end of it. We will also, from there, based on our recommendations, move on to engage other stakeholders. Yeah.
We're grateful for your time. That's the Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, the chairman of the National Peace Council.
And so listen to News Nighters on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, one of President Akufo-Addo's key promises, the One Village, One Dam, has come under criticism as some residents of the Upper East region have begun to question the construction of some of these dams that are at various stages of completion.
Now, these residents say work done so far is sloppy. Upper East Regional Minister Paulina Abayage is tonight defending work done so far, insisting that the contractors are delivering on the work that they were given. But residents insist that what has been constructed are not dams, but dugouts. Residents who spoke to A1 Radio's Joshua Assar described work done so far as disappointing. Listen.
Agriculture is not working because we don't have the correct policies. We heard him talking about one district, one factory. As far as this part of the world is concerned, I want to go forward. Further, talk about one village, one dam. We have a functioning dam to support the agriculture in our place.
This was Nana Akufo-Addo, then the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, announcing his One Village, One Dam promise before the Bolgatanga Traditional Council. He was on a campaign tour of the Upper East region, accompanied by his running mate, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. This campaign promise instantly became the talk across the country because it touched on a very important sector of the economy, agriculture. The Bongo district was allocated 10 dams, but just 4 dams are at various stages of completion as we speak. According to residents of the Bongo district, the construction of each of these dams lasted less than a week, raising questions as to whether any serious works was done on these dams.
Looking at how it has been done, it doesn't show that it will be able to do dry season farming. Even had it not because of this recent rainfall, if it were to be the last time, let's say 5 days back, if you were here, you would have seen that. Only fetching for building of houses and what have you, the dam was almost dried. Looking at this project, I will say it has not up to standard. Though it is a duck out, but I will not call this one a dam.
Like they were saying, that we are going to be given a dam. Our thinking was that it will be a big dam whereby in the dry season, farmers, this is a farming community. We can do the dry season farming. Unfortunately, when the contractor came around and we showed him. In fact, look at the land. The land is there. We wanted him to extend it. He said no, that is the specification given to him. He cannot go further than that. Then we said we're done.
The chief of Dachio, Naba Akalga II, said he was optimistic that a new dam in his area will promote dry season farming, but was disappointed after seeing what was constructed as a dam.
I say it's only for children to be playing football, but not a dam. It's a piece of a football park over there being constructed. Because the depth of the dam, you don't know where it is. So in fact, it's not a dam. If they can make their own correction for it to be called a dam, it's left with them. But this one now is not a dam.
So you heard from some residents in various parts of the Upper East region, including a chief there interacting with A1 Radio's Joshua Azar. But the Upper East Regional Minister, Paulina Abayage, disagrees largely with the claims by residents, but assures that the right thing will be done according to the promises made.
I know we have challenges with some of the constructions. We have had challenges with some of the constructions. Some have been effective. 2 of them have come to my attention so far. One in Kajolo, in the Kasnanankana West District. The one in Soin, in the Bolga municipality. I've spoken to the consultants. The only thing I can assure you as a regional minister is that I, sitting here, will ensure value for money. So I have told the consultant that for now I'm putting on hold payment, signing of any certificate, especially if the job is complete. If it's halfway, fine, I can sign. But if it's fully complete and the person is going to take the money, then I won't sign until it has been able to withstand the test of the rains that are coming. If it's able to stand the rains, then I'll go ahead and sign. That's for me to ensure value for money. But whether it will serve the purpose, it will serve the purpose. That's why we are spending so much money. And when we talk about dams, we're not talking of dams like Bui dams or Akusumbu dams or the very soon to be built Palogu multi-purpose dam. When you go to the village and somebody tells you, I'm going to the dam, the person just means I'm going to a dugout today. That's what we mean by dams in our villages. So we are just it's on that backdrop that we are building what we are building.
You agree that there are dugouts, but there are no dams?
I didn't say that. I haven't actually looked. What's the definition of dam? I know what many are saying.
Yes.
Many are saying they are dugouts. They are not dams. And I'm saying that I don't know the meaning of a dam. But when we talk of dams in this part of the country, when we talk of dams in this part of the country, we are not talking about the superstructures that we have down south. We are talking about just this. The most important thing is that you should have a small spillway. And most of these ones that we have built have spillways. Some of them are well constructed, especially towards the Garu area. Some of them are well constructed.
Okay, so that is the minister's view. But let's hear an expert view. The former pro vice chancellor of the University of Development Studies, also been speaking about the development. He's also an authority in the agricultural sector. Professor David Miller says more planning must go into the implementation of this flagship campaign promise. He's been rating work done so far.
I'll give the project 20 out of 100. 20%. 20% in the sense that I've seen one or two of them. Their designs are quite okay. They've made a very wide catchment That one is not the wells, it's the catchment area. They went for an old site of a slope, sort of, and did a bit of surveying and expanded the catchment area. So it means that dam is now bigger than it was. So something like that, I can give a few pluses for that. But as for the entire project, it will be 20 out of 100. But if they had started with maintaining and repairing existing dams, oh, it would have been great, you see. You have to do those things first. But we haven't done it to the old ones. And here we are rushing to do new ones. And some of them, like I said, are misplaced. You don't go giving a village that has a dam, another dam, and go to a village that is abutting a whole river that is Yara, it doesn't dry. The black water doesn't dry at all. And you give them a dam. So it looks like they haven't thought through the implementation very well. The idea, fine, but the design and implementation, if this is the way it's going, it's not well thought through. They should rethink it.
Who should be blamed?
I think it's all part of the blame that we have for manifestos. You see, when you go manifesto planning, and I'm a planner, I've been with the National Development Planning Commission, and we designed a 40-year plan. If you want to do a plan based on manifesto, which is 4 years, and you know that 1 year you are using it to learn on the job, they don't know the job, they have to learn. So they are trying to implement many things in 2 years. That's the effective time. And it's not possible to do this type of thing in 2 years. So they are rushing. Even the selection of contractors, I don't know what is the basis. Oh, do you have equipment? Yes. Oh, give him 2 dams. This one, do you have this? Yes. I will give him 3 dams. That's not how you do it. Because some do not have the equipment, and therefore will go and hire or borrow. Some have the equipment, but they are for road construction or some other construction. They haven't done dam construction. Now they are going to adapt it. So everything becomes a big mess. But if you are in a hurry because of a campaign pledge to show this in 2 years, next year they are going to be running around digging holes everywhere. You can't stop that. The children will be swimming and dying. The animals will be dying. The things will be lying there, and people will not use them to the maximum.
So you hear that the former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the UDS, the Professor David Miller, our Upper East Regional Correspondent, Albert joins us on the line live with more. So Albert, you've been working closely with Joshua Azar, and you also did your independent checks as well. Describe to us the nature of these dams constructed so far in the areas that you visited.
Yes, MFA. So today, for instance, we were at the Gono community at Zwarungu, under the Bolga East district. And what we saw there, when you are entering the community from a faraway distance, what you see looks like a dam, because you feel that because of the nature of what they have done there, if more rain should come, then you will have more water. But you get closer and you realize that it's just a small place that has been dug. Now, what we did was to speak to community members in this area to try and find out what the place looked like before they came to do this construction. Now, we spoke to one man who said that his family actually gave out the land because the DCE of the area came there only in April this year, and they met as community people, and the discussion was held that they wanted a land to construct these dams. So they gave them this place because it was a swampy area where, you know, in the rainy season, you have water lying there. And so they gave out this place. According to him, they didn't even ask for compensation because their idea was that they were going to get a big dam where even in the dry season, they could get water. But what they have done there for them is too small, and that when you get into the dry season, the water is not going to last there. Now, they told me that they used only 4 days from 14th to 19th of April to construct this dam. And the community members raised concerns, and the DCE had to call the contractor to come back. He only came there again and then moved some sand out of the place and blocked the place with some rocks and left. So as we speak, they do not know if the contractor is going to come back and continue with the work, or what is there is what is going to be left as a dam. And they said that he actually said that if he was aware that this dam they have constructed there is what they were going to do, he would not have given out his land.
So that's our Upper East Regional Correspondent Albert Sorry on the status of some of these dams. Of course, that's not the last we're going to hear of this matter. We'll hear more of it in our subsequent bulletins.
Customer-oriented, superior services, your success our passion. 10 good years of loyalty, service with integrity, protective of our Ghanaian brand. 10 years of excellence, 10 years of loyalty, your success our passion. Oh yeah, your success our passion.
Your success, our passion.
What can 20 Ghana cedis buy you?
Airtime.
Taxi or trophy.
Hot
Oh, ice cream dripping down your hands on a hot sunny afternoon.
You think it, and that's exactly what we'll give you when you buy the Roverman Productions Early Bird Ticket. From the stables of Unclable White comes the play, I Want Your Wife. From now till 16th June, you can buy early bird tickets at 60 Ghana cedis, saving you a whopping 20 Ghana cedis for that kinky or ice cream. And tickets are available at Joy FM, selected Shell shops, and our regular outlet. WhatsApp us on 050-554-6030 for delivery. This production is sponsored by Bond Savings and Loans, Old Mutual Life Assurance Company Limited, and Crush Fruit Juice.
Note, early bird tickets are valid for 5th and 7th July.
Media partners, Joy FM, Hits FM, Joy News, Joy Prime, and Adum TV. Buy your tickets now.
We give you nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you, folks. On my A list today, show some love for Contractor EB. So, Contractor, what do you think about the country's changing skyline?
Oh, send them down there, Yuma. Across skyline, they change you, papa.
Wow. Contractor, don't you get worried when you hear of buildings collapsing?
I'm out for an one on Tassam. It is the likability of using low quality product.
Please explain why.
Yeah, cement is no quality on your gasem. Village of Fefu. It was built with gasem. Says the gasem is your construction. Osi ho pumping. She N1. Can you tell market? Kotokana Kumasi Airport. Cape Coast Stadium. Atrabu gas project in Gasebo. Messi what the quality. No what is the quality.
Gasem. 3 cement grades. Greater value. Gasem. The nation builder.
This Wednesday is Mega Wednesday at ShopRite. That means we have mega fresh produce at mega low prices. Like a 1 kilogram pack of carrots for only 8 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. And Rock Band 100 gram pack for just 1 Ghana cedi, 79 pesos. Get these and more mega savings at Mega Wednesday. Prices valid on Wednesday, 29th May only. Only at ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust always.
It's time to experience something different, unexpected, and definitely beyond banking. It's a new era at GCB Bank, Ghana's most welcoming bank, where we offer you a world of financial security, flexibility, and convenience. We swiftly serve you with over 180 branches and 300 ATMs, and provide e-banking solutions that make it possible for you to bank anywhere, anytime. When you need a personal loan, sooner is better than later, so we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is always memorable. At GCB, your opportunities are limitless and we keep you smiling at all times. We're bigger and better, ready to take you beyond banking. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
But what
Machirba, the recent test shows your cholesterol level has normalized. You've stopped eating those fatty foods, eh?
Doc, in Chichorina. Oh, I've reduced it significantly.
That's very good.
Mara made change in my diet input. I now eat beans, garden eggs, okra, and the likes.
Really nice.
And when I cook with oil, I add required amounts of Frital vegetable oil to taste. It's a cholesterol-free oil and fortified with vitamin A.
Well done, Madam Machirba.
She, Mara Mabino, Mabin Dread. Enjoy great tasting meals with Frital, your cholesterol-free cooking oil fortified with vitamin A. Frital, love your food, love your life. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back to Business on News. Now, the main headlines you're looking at is Bank of Ghana rejecting the Economist Intelligence Unit projection of the city coming under some serious depreciation in the coming months. And non-bank financial sector cleanup to cost 7 billion Ghana cedis as Bank of Ghana works to clean up the microfinance sectors. The Business News on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you? Let's now settle for the details. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has downplayed projections from the London-based Economist Intelligence Unit that the city could witness another round of serious depreciation in the coming months. The governor said this at the press conference, which actually announced the decision to hold the policy rate at 16%. We have more in this Business Desk report.
According to the governor of the Bank of Ghana, it has the adequate reserves and policy measures to stabilize the city in the short to medium term. Therefore, he does not think that this projection by the Economic Intelligence Unit could affect the city.
I don't think that these, projections are plausible, especially to be able to project the exchange rate 3 years. That's really a very daring thing to do, and you find that such, projections more often than not do not turn out to be correct because the horizon is too far out. But I can tell you that our objective is to keep the city as stable as we can and also keep our inflation on target. Say that we should expect that the city will remain stable over the short to the medium term on the basis of the fact that we are currently fairly well positioned in terms of the level of international reserves that we have.
The governor also spoke about what is being done to deal with the rising public debt and reasons behind the hikes.
Out of the $3 billion that was contracted, nearly 300 million was used to pay off sovereign debt. I think the 2022 debt, 300 million of that was paid off. We have about 700 million which has been ring-fed into the sinking fund to be managed to reduce domestic debt. So operationally, we have the room to pay off some of the domestic debt if government so wishes.
Dr. Addison also raised issues about the current energy sector payment for past contracts and how the development is putting some pressure on its reserves. On the cleanup of the microfinance and rural banks, Dr. Addison noted that they need some time before they could come out with actual dates for cleaning up the sectors.
We need to be careful about the process. So this is what we are spending a little bit more time to understand the population of microfinance institutions out there. Secondly, we also need to make an assessment of whether our objectives would be fully met just by concentrating on the microfinance sector.
The governor disclosed that they are working with the relevant agencies to ensure that it recovers all the funds from the banks that collapsed. Dr. Addison also noted that they have engaged the Chief Justice over proposals to have a special court to deal with the development in the banking sector.
And that was a Business Desk report. In a related development, the governor of the Bank of Ghana has also disclosed that the cleanup of the non-banking sector, which will include
the microfinance and the rural bank, as well as the savings and loan sectors, should cost about 7 billion Ghana cedis. He disclosed it today when he actually engaged journalists after meeting to review the health of the economy. Let's still stay on the banking sector because banking consultant Nanotu Champon has been reacting to a decision to hold the policy rate at 16% and its impact on the cost of credit in the country.
And we've seen today, compared to last year, 28% average lending rate, now it's around 27%. So gradually it's coming down. And now that the policy rate has been maintained for a number of months, I would anticipate that come 3-4 months' time, the pass-through effect would have been felt and we'll be looking at a lower rate. Even presently, some of the banks are lending around 20%. So the average 27 is that some are above, but some are below, and that's why I got the average of.
Banking consultant Nanotu Champon and Cocoa Board has announced the closure of the main crop season for cocoa purchases, that is for the 2018-2019 crop season. According to a statement issued by the board, the closure should happen happen on May 30, and also he added that this should actually allow the licensed buying companies to secure the final returns on forms of across all centers in the country. According to the board, will accept the return on the declared purchases by June 6th. Now, for some, this announcement should pave the way for Cocoa Board to begin the processes for the purchases of cocoa beans for the next crop season, as well as those small beans. Now, the countries, and we can talk about the fact that the cultivation of the 200 acres avocado plantation has begun, and the government's One District, One Factory agro flagship program in the Buakwa in the eastern region. Now, the Ekwapim Gold Agro Processing Company, the company spearheading this project, is targeted to cultivate about 2,000 acres of these 3 improved varieties. Let's hear more from the chairman of the Ekwapim Gold, that is Albert Wilson. He said this at the launch of the project.
Would mean a significant contribution to the socio-economic development of Ghana. Among the several significant benefits that the nation would derive from the company are employment generation, both direct and indirect, assured market for similar crop producers within the catchment area and beyond, poverty reduction, positive impact on our intercrops on the food security needs of the country, sustainable foreign exchange reserves from exports, contribution to the training of rural youth in agriculture in order to stem the ever-growing migration to the urban areas for non-existing jobs. The aggregate of all this contributes to rural development.
And it's believed that the completion of this project could generate several jobs in the factory, and also the fact that they're hoping to produce about 6 to 80 tons per hour. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Game over. Oh no, I lost again. Mommy, can you please buy me some coins for my game from Play Store? Please.
Kojo, how? I don't even have a debit card.
Hey, Mommy, don't you know you don't need a debit card to buy on Play Store? You can pay with MTN Momo.
Can I?
Yes.
Hey, Kojo, how do you know?
Mommy, everybody's talking about it at school.
Really?
You can now use MTN Momo to buy your favorite apps and games on Play Store. First, choose the app or game you want and select the MTN Momo option to pay. It's that simple.
Yes, I did it. Mommy, I won.
We day for you, everywhere you go.
Mr. Barr has big dreams for his business, Barr & Co. Limited, and his family, making them a reality meant long drives and queues. He's lost precious time struggling to pay his suppliers in China, Turkey, India, and other parts of the world. With the First National Bank global payment via our online banking enterprise, he now pays for all that in the convenience of his home or office, giving him time to focus on family and growing his business. Use our online banking enterprise to access Forex when you need it. It takes a bank that does more to help your family. So who's helping yours? First National Bank. How can we help you?
Honey, I need to get some.
But I don't have cash on me. Let me get some fuel quickly and let's go.
And how are you going to get the fuel? I thought you said you didn't have cash on you. What is this one?
My Puma card.
All it takes is a card. The Puma card allows you to buy fuel cash-free from all Puma energy filling stations. You can use your Puma card with any Visa points of sale and ATM across the country. The Puma card also works on mobile money. You get amazing discounts when you fill up with your Puma card. So register for free and get your Puma card instantly at any Puma filling station.
And you only got one for yourself, eh?
Yeah, would I have had my piece of mind?
Oh, thank you, honey.
And where are you going?
I'm getting something from the shop real quick. I need to test the card.
Puma card. Cash-free convenience.
Imagine living in a world of comfort and luxury. In a well-planned and gated community with access to an ultra-modern sports complex which has Olympic-sized swimming pools, football, basketball, athletics, and gym facilities. I'm talking about Eden Heights, the new destination for luxury in Ghana. Eden Heights is developed with the highest grade of finishing in our penthouses and our 1 to 4 bedroom apartments, and is located close to the beach resorts along the Atlantic Ocean, about 30 minutes drive from the airport and 5 minutes walk from the West Hills Mall. Eden Heights is the ideal location for luxury. Visit us at edenheights.com.gh or email to sales@edenheights.com.gh or call us on 050-153-1444 or 050-153-1445 for more information. Eden Heights, welcome home.
What can 20 Ghana cedis buy you?
Airtime.
Taxi or trotro fare?
Hot
Oh, ice cream dripping down your hands on a hot sunny afternoon.
You think it, and that's exactly what we'll give you when you buy the Roverman Productions Early Bird Ticket. From the stables of Unclipper White comes the play, I Want Your Wife. From now till 16th June, you can buy early bird tickets at 60 Ghana cedis, saving you a whopping 20 Ghana cedis for that kinky or ice cream. And tickets are available at Joy FM, selected Shell shops, and our regular outlet. WhatsApp us on 050-554-6030 for delivery. This production is sponsored by Bond Savings and Loans, Old Mutual Life Assurance Company Limited, and Crush Fruit Juice.
Note: early bird tickets are valid for 5th and 7th July.
Media partners: Joy FM, Hits FM, Joy News, Joy Prime, and Adum TV. Buy your tickets now.
The new Ghana card is more than just a way to identify yourself. It opens you up to a world of benefits.
The sooner you register for your Ghana card, the closer you are to accessing a new world of secure transactions and services. The requirements to register are as follows:
a genuine birth certificate or a valid Ghanaian passport and personal information such as the name of your parents or legal guardians, residential address, and your digital address code.
If you don't have a birth certificate or a valid Ghanaian passport, don't worry. One relative or 2 members of the community who have been registered and have received their Ghana card can vouch for you under oath. You will, however, need your digital address code. You will not be allowed to register without it.
Any person who provides false information during this process is liable to prosecution, leading to the payment of a fine and/or serving a jail term.
Watch out for registration details in the media and the national identification team in your community. Make sure you register for your Ghana card.
Ghana card, connectivity, access, and progress.
Sports now. Hans Mensando is here with the very latest. Hello, Hans.
Hello, Evans. And remember I told you to remind me to tell you a story.
Yes. What story is
You know Oliver Kahn?
Yes, the goalkeeper.
Okay. So, yes, he
The
was
cat.
absolutely. He was involved in a charity event where he was involved in a penalty shootout against 9-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And the deal was that for every penalty the kids score, a donation will be made to charity. Guess what? He saved all the penalties.
Oh, how? That's so unfair.
Now, Ghana's Albert Adoma was in the thick of affairs as Aston Villa won promotion to the Premier League and secured an estimated £170 million windfall as he held off a late Derby County fight back to win the Championship playoff final at Wembley. Villa beaten by Fulham in last season's final seemed to be cruising to victory when John McGinn added to Anwar El Ghazi's first half strike to put them 2 up with 30 minutes to go. However, Rams boss Frank Lampard threw caution to the wind and the side set up a frantic finale when substitute Jack Marriott, his effort from 8 yards took a deflection of Martin Wagon on its way into the net. Despite 7 minutes of injury time, they could not force an equalizer and now face another season in the second tier with Villa returning to the Premier League for the first time since being relegated in 2016. So they joined Sheffield United and Norwich into the Premier League for the season 2019-2020. That's your sports.
Thank you very much, Hans. Now, a good number of roads are in a deplorable state in Accra, often in the rainy season. But for the people of Pure Water, an area at Ashongman in the Ga East municipality, whether rain or shine, enduring the sickening and distressing effects of the poor state of roads is an all-year affair.
Now, currently, some residents have given up on any government intervention due to fruitless attempts in the past to rehabilitate the deteriorating roads. Now, 15-year-old Mavis Martinaldo is one of such residents. Now, she says the state of the road is simply terrible. Now, here's a description of the road captured by her.
The road is wide enough to accommodate 4 lanes of traffic, but 2/3 of the stretch is covered by rocks, creating an uneven, immotorable surface. Rainwater is seen running like a stream through the rocks as cars attempt to navigate around them onto the rock-free third of the road. That turns out to be an ordeal of a different nature. Trucks are seen inching their way through thick mud, attempting to follow the tracks created by cars that have struggled to pass through the quagmire earlier. Even the tallest of suspensions and the thickest of tires on these trucks do nothing to ease the passage of the vehicles across the pothole-riddled road, as drivers employ all their skill to ease the heavy vehicles in and out of the deep grooves on this rough road.
That was a description of the nature of roads at Pure Water as captured through the phone length of 15-year-old Achimota student Mavis Martinaldo. Now, some residents have been speaking to us on that. We'll get to hear them, but I've been interacting with that 15-year-old Mavis. Amazing. And what motivated her to take the step to campaign for the roads to be fixed.
It seems like the adults have been talking a lot and appealing to the government, but then nobody has done anything. So I figured that probably when it comes from somebody who is younger, they'll see that even as the kids are seeing the bad things that are happening in our society.
You are just 15. What did you see that you think that the adults have said, yet nothing is being done about it?
So from the little I've learned from school, I know it's the responsibility of the government and the authorities to fix our roads, because it has tremendous effect on us, the citizens.
But how bad is your road?
It's really bad. The road that stretches from the last stop to Pure Water, ending at Old Ashongman. The road is really bad. It has a lot of potholes and there are lots of puddles on the road.
Did you seek the consent of your parents before doing this? What kind of support did they give you in
They
doing
were
this?
proud of me, and my mom even helped me once to go around doing some of their videos, story like on paper. My dad helped me.
But what are you really expecting beyond just people liking it and commending you for doing such a story?
I expect the government to make a change that will notice. Through research, I learned that it takes years even to create a perfect road. So they can even start the process by properly filling the roads, the ditches, all those stuff here, and improving our sewage system.
You've talked about a health condition that you have that this is affecting. Tell us a bit about it.
So I'm allergic to dust and some other things like perfume and yeah. So during the Harmattan season, I suffer a lot. I'm not the only one. My parents even have it. My younger sibling have kata here, so it really affects us.
If you have the opportunity to speak to at least maybe the Roads and Transport Minister, those who are supposed to do this, the Ga East Municipal Assembly and all that, tell them what you want them to do.
Sir or madam, I know that fixing roads is not easy. It takes years, it takes money, funds, it takes expertise and all those things. Right now, our adults have lost faith in all of you. But then we, the children who are looking up to you today, please make us proud and give us hope so that we'll not follow our parents even though they do not have any hope in you people.
My name is Amado Asia. We are appealing to the two ethnic groups to please stop the conflict because it is really affecting we the candidates. As at now, when we are in our various houses, we cannot do anything about it. So they should please stop the conflict because this year the cut-off grade is grade 25. And as we are in the house, we cannot do anything. I'm crying because we are suffering. The government should do something about this conflict because it is really affecting we the BC candidates because the cut-off grade is grade 25. And if we are not learning what what are we going to do in the BEC? Well, we cannot do anything. So we please appeal to the two ethnic groups to please stop the conflict, and the government should do something about it so that it will help with the BEC candidate to get what he wants in the near future.
And that last sound they heard was Asia Amuda in Tripoli, and affected quite severely by the conflict still raging in that part of the country. Earlier, of course, you had another 15-year-old also affected by terrible roads, all appealing for governmental action to fix the problem. As we know, in Tripoli, the defense minister is trying to solve the problem. But if you are an adult in that part of the country and listen to your child say to you that her education is threatened, possibly, you should be able to do something about the situation then. That's how we end Newsnight tonight. But we'll leave you with something to cheer you up. It happened over the weekend City Show, a debate over who is a general captain and a substantive captain. My name is Evan Spencer.
I am MF Fapal.
A general captain is the captain, which is everybody know that you are captain for the long time, and Parliament